There is breaking news right now at 5 o'clock, a deadly shooting at a community college in Oregon. A state official says 13 are dead, including the gunman. 20 more are hurt.
Craig Setzer in CBS 4 Weather Control. Category 4 Hurricane Joaquin is crawling through the Bahamas tonight. I'll have the latest.
Joaquin's effects, the U.S. East Coast prepares while the Bahamas copes with high winds and flooding. We have a CBS 4 News Live team coverage.
And billed by the bride. A woman doesn't show up to a wedding she has RSVP'd for. Should she have to pay?
Thanks for joining us. I'm Ruta Shabazi.
And I'm Rick Fullbaum. The CBS 4 News at 5 starts right now.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is CBS 4 News.
And we begin with that breaking news out of Oregon, where 13 people are dead, 20 more wounded in a shooting at a community college. And the Attorney General in Oregon saying that the gunman is among those dead.
This happened at the Umpqua Community College in Roseburg. CBS 4's Elliot Rodriguez is gathering the latest developments for us from the newsroom. Elliot?
Well, Ruta Bay and Rick, details of the shooting are still unfolding, but information we have from the Oregon Attorney General's office is that 13 people are dead, and that includes the gunman, and 20 others are wounded, many of them critically. Now, this happened on the campus of Umpqua Community College in Roseburg, Oregon, about 175 miles south of Portland. It's a small school with between 2,000 and 2,500 students. The injured have been taken to an area hospital. Reports are the shooting started in the science building, and the gunman went to other classrooms where he opened fire. We've also received word that the shooter posted on social media this morning. We do not know if the postings were a warning or if they give any insight into what prompted the shooting, but we know they took place. A local station reported students and faculty members were bused to nearby fairgrounds to be picked up by family members and friends.
We just learned that the school buses that went up to the college picked up the rest of the students, and the parent and student reuniting point is going to be at the Douglas County Fairgrounds. So parents need to go to the fairgrounds to pick up their students, not at the Oregon State Police Office where we are staged.
All right, now, a local station in the area spoke to a student who said a group of students were huddled in a library. She said they stayed inside while the shots were being fired, and at one point they prayed together. Now, a short time ago, the governor of Oregon said the shooter was a 20-year-old male. Police say he fired on officers. Tonight, CBS News is reporting that President Obama has been notified about the shooting and is monitoring the latest developments out of Oregon. As we get more information, we will bring it to you. From the newsroom, Elliot Rodriguez, CBS 4 News.
All right, Elliot, thanks very much. And the other big story of the day today is the extremely dangerous Hurricane Joaquin, and the storm intensified now. It is a Category 4 storm that happened this afternoon.
Yeah, the new advisory and forecast track are just in from the National Hurricane Center, and CBS 4 Chief Meteorologist Craig Setzer has them for us. Craig.
The news this evening is not good for the folks in the central Bahamas because we have a very slow-moving, extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane, only moving southwest now at 6 miles an hour. Very low pressure, 130-mile-an-hour winds. Forecast track is for it to maintain Category 4 intensity and begin to turn out of the Bahamas. This is Friday afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, and then starting to move out into the Atlantic after that, and a slow weakening trend as it goes up to the north, but it is forecast to move a little bit farther to the east, but still could clip the mid-Atlantic states. And with that in mind and preps that are already taking place, let's go to Weijia Chang, who is standing by in Nag's Head with the latest there. Weijia?
Yeah, Craig, even though there's no consensus about exactly what Joaquin has in store for the East Coast, there is no doubt either that it could have such a devastating impact. That is why so many states already have heavy equipment in place and crews out in force. People along the East Coast are waiting to see if Joaquin heads their way.
Everyone is looking at it. Everybody's preparing for it.
Forecasters expect the hurricane to reach the U.S. by Sunday or Monday. Even if Joaquin doesn't make landfall here on the East Coast, it could cause serious problems with dangerous storm surges, substantial flooding, and high winds.
Our concern now is not so much the storm itself, but any rainfall it brings could produce life-threatening flooding.
Up the coast, bulldozers were piling sand high on Long Beach near New York City. Residents there still remember the destruction Sandy left behind 3 years ago.
It was a pretty scary scene the last time, and I would hope to God that we don't have to ever go through that again.
On the New Jersey shore, people are bracing for 5 inches of rain, even before Joaquin arrives.
There is definitely going to be moderate and likely to be major flooding events in South Jersey.
The governor has already declared a state of emergency. There's also a state of emergency here in North Carolina, as well as Virginia and Maryland. Craig?
Weijia, thanks. That's Weijia Chang reporting from Nags Head there, North Carolina, right in this general area here. You can see the cone now has started to shift a bit to the east. Forecast is for Category 1 here. This is following what the computer models are doing. And if we were watching it and the storm was coming here, we'd say, yeah, the cone is shifting, but we still need to be thinking about being prepared, but maybe start to relax our preparations. That's usually the time frame that we look at it. Now, we can see the models are starting to split into 2 distinct tracks. We've got some models still turning back to the west here. Some of these models are a little bit the less reliable models. These are the more reliable models, and they have taken a big shift to the right. And so the thinking would be that the National Hurricane Center may start continuing to move that cone in the next 6-hour advisory onto the east. Here's a close-up satellite loop. You can see the eye starting to show up pretty nicely there, but bad news for Crooked Island as well as Long Island, Rum Cay, San Salvador, as the core of the storm is moving along there. And what's steering the system? It's a combination of a dip in the jet stream out here, a blocking high here, but maybe this feature out here that may be the big player with what eventually happens to Joaquin. I'll have more on that coming up in just a bit.
All right, Craig, thanks very much. And we have some new video tonight from Casey Lucis, who posted this video on Instagram. And this is Crooked Island in the Bahamas. Take a look. You can see this is from this morning, and you can see how intense the winds were from Hurricane Joaquin. It's likely to be a long night in the Bahamas and another long day there tomorrow. And remember, you can track Joaquin at any time. Just head over to the tropics section on our website, cbsmiami.com.
New details now on the murder of a young man in northwest Miami-Dade. His dad says he worked hard to make an honest living.
The killing comes just a few blocks from where a young woman was shot to death in her front yard a few weeks ago. CBS 4's Gary Nelson is live at Miami-Dade Police Headquarters with more on the shootings. Gary.
Well, I can tell you homicide investigators here at Miami-Dade Police Headquarters have been very busy through what has been a bloody summer. More street killings than they have been able to count for us so far. Today, this murder this morning representative of what the communities in the inner cities are facing.
In northwest Miami-Dade, the increasingly familiar sound of heartache. Another young person shot dead in a yard near his home. His father heard it.
A whole lot of gunshots. I heard all those gunshots, and I was hoping that my son was all right.
But 27-year-old Irvin Davis was not all right, murdered by who knows who for who knows what at 24th Avenue and 81st Terrace. This fatal shooting only about 3 blocks away.
And I love her so much. Precious, I love you.
From where 24-year-old Precious Jackson was shot dead as she stood with friends in her mother's front yard just 6 weeks ago. Her mom then and now believes the killing was the result of a bad shot or mistaken identity.
It wasn't for her. I know that. It wasn't for her.
Precious Jackson had just come home from a shift at Checkers when she was killed. Irvin Davis had only a single arrest on his record, simple pot possession. His dad said he labored for an honest living.
He was a really hard-working kid. He go to work every day, and he worked for his money.
Could the murders of Irvin Davis and Precious Jackson, so close together in time and distance, be related? Her mom won't speculate, but grieves for all.
It just makes me sad, that this still going on. And I hope somebody just come forward and do the right thing.
Reverend Eric Redden, active in the community, believes murder scenes like this one and this one are the work of a core group of hoodlums.
Just know that a lot of lives are being taken, whether it be innocent or intended targets, but we do ask the neighborhood to just break the code of silence.
A silence broken by the increasingly frequent sound of heartbreak.
It cannot be said enough. Someone out there knows who killed Irvin Davis this morning, who murdered Precious Jackson. If you have some information, Crime Stoppers, the number to call, 305-471-TIPS. We're live at Miami-Dade Police Headquarters. Gary Nelson, CBS 4 News.
Thank you, Gary. New at 5, a bumpy ride for passengers on board an American Airlines flight. Flight 982 was coming into Miami International Airport when the plane experienced severe turbulence. The plane was coming from Grenada. 5 people were treated for minor injuries.
Tensions are escalating in Syria, where the U.S. and Russia appear to be fighting on opposite sides, raising the risk of an international incident.
That's right. Russian warplanes began bombing targets overnight, but the U.S. says Russia has broken its declaration that it would only target ISIS terrorists. CBS 4's Mark Albert has the latest now from the White House.
The Pentagon held talks with Russian military officials Thursday to try and avoid U.S. and Russian forces from firing on one another while Russia conducts airstrikes in Syria. The U.S. is accusing Russia of not just bombing ISIS, also known as ISIL, but American-backed rebels as well, who want to overthrow Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad. Russia supports Assad.
The Russian Air Force is targeting ISIL and other terrorist positions in coordination with the Syrian army.
The Pentagon says U.S. forces will continue operations in Syria.
We don't believe that they struck ISIL targets. So that's a problem, right? I mean, the Russians have said that they're going to do one thing, and here they are doing something different than that.
The White House says the U.S. would welcome a constructive contribution from Russia, but hasn't seen it yet.
By carrying out military operations indiscriminately against the Syrian opposition, they're only fanning the flames of the sectarian conflict.
Adding to the tension, Iraq's prime minister, a U.S. ally, says he's disappointed with the American-led coalition fighting ISIS and would accept Russian airstrikes in Iraq. In Washington, Mark Albert, CBS 4 News.
And for more on the situation in Syria, watch the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley tonight at 6:30 right here on CBS 4.
And we are on top of breaking news this afternoon out of the state of Oregon, the southern part of the state, Roseburg, Oregon. A gunman opening fire inside a science building at a community college now. 4 weapons found at the scene. 13 people are dead, 20 others hurt, many of them critically. We'll keep watching this and bring you new information as we get it.
Also, new details in Hillary Clinton's email controversy. What the head of the FBI now says. Next.
And the Dolphins set off for their showdown with the New York Jets in London town. Jim Berry has the latest from camp. That's coming up after the break.
Craig Setzer in CBS 4 Weather Control. Of course, Joaquin, all eyes on that monster storm sitting in the Bahamas. We're seeing the effects with a little bit of breeze here and some high clouds coming in. That's the outside edge of Joaquin there in the distance. I've got to look at your forecast coming up. CBS 4 News at 5 is coming right back.
First time that I saw you here, I look up, but you disappeared. Oh, I never did forget the look of you. Oh, it's the second time.
Any dog will chase a car, but with a range of 535 miles on one tank, only a crazy dog will chase a Prius. Get a low 0% APR for 72 months on a new 2015 Toyota Prius. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, Curtis Stone here with this week's Winn-Dixie Cooking with Curtis for under $10 recipe featuring apples in my pan-seared pork chops with roasted apples and sweet potatoes, all for under $10.
Winn-Dixie's Cooking with Curtis for under $10. Recipes are available in-store or at WinnDixie.com now.
$10, that's amazing. So come on, grab your $10, some Winn-Dixie apples, my recipes, and let's eat well for less.
That is delicious.
Smart technology can help you make the most of family time. It can bring you together in bold new ways and help create unforgettable moments. And now, the energy that powers smart technology is smart too. With FPL's online energy dashboard, you can view your energy use over time and check how changes in temperature affect your bill. And with the free online home energy survey, you'll find new ways to save up to $250 a year. Visit fpl.com/easy to save and start today.
Every day I wonder if we're getting it right. Parenting, planning for tomorrow, all of it. As my mother says, the days are long, but the years are short. I want to protect what we have and give them what they need. But we're going to need some help.
reaching your family's financial goals could be easier than you think. At MassMutual, we've helped families for more than 160 years. Let us help yours.
Now through Monday only. Stop, look, then shop Rooms to Go and pick from 100 beautiful rooms under $1,000. Don't wait. Furnish your home in your style right now with beautiful living rooms under $1,000, dining rooms under $1,000, bedrooms under $1,000, 100 great rooms under $1,000. And check this out. Finance for $20 or less per month, interest-free. That's now through Monday only at Rooms to Go. Don't miss it.
New details tonight on the investigation into former Secretary of State and Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's email controversy. The FBI director confirms his agency is looking into the security of Clinton's email server. It's the first time he acknowledged the agency's investigation, but he's not going into specifics as to what steps the FBI is taking as part of its review. The confirmation comes amid reports that Clinton's email was targeted by Russian hackers, though there's no confirmation she clicked on the links of the phishing emails.
Now to campaign 2016 and a major push by the Clinton campaign to court Hispanic voters. The Democratic candidate will be here in South Florida tomorrow and will hold campaign events next month, all focused on Hispanic voters in San Antonio and Las Vegas as well. Her campaign will use the first Democratic presidential debate in Nevada to organize house parties geared at garnering support among Hispanic voters. Clinton's pitch, called Latinos for Hillary, will also extend to Hispanic lawmakers and elected officials. As Vermont Senator and Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders continues to gain ground on Clinton in the polls. He's also closing in on her when it comes to fundraising. Sanders' campaign raising $25 million in the third quarter of 2015, just slightly behind the $28 million raised by Clinton. Most of Sanders' money comes from his campaign's sizable online fundraising operation. Most of Clinton's comes from fundraising events that she personally attends. Republican presidential candidate Jeb Bush's fundraising pace has slowed a bit over the past 3 months, and now Bush is being outraised by Dr. Ben Carson. Carson is second behind Trump in the national polls. He has collected more than $20 million since July.
It's certainly no surprise, but Miami-Dade County Mayor Carlos Jimenez has made it official. He is seeking re-election. The mayor this morning filed paperwork to open his re-election campaign. Jimenez has been mayor for 5 years now. The mayoral election will be held in August 2016. His only opposition for the moment is Miami-Dade School Board member Raquel Regalado. And stay with CBS 4 News and CBSMiami.com for continuing coverage of Campaign 2016.
The wife of Miami Dolphins player Brent Grimes facing a judge today after her arrest over the weekend. Miko Grimes asking a judge if she could be allowed to travel to London for her husband's football game there this weekend, and the judge said okay. She will be back in court next week. Miko Grimes is facing several charges, including battery on a law enforcement officer and disorderly conduct. She was arrested Sunday at the Miami Dolphins game.
The Miami Dolphins are on their way to London for their first showdown with the Jets. And before heading to the airport, the team hit the practice field one last time.
CBS 4 sports anchor Jim Barry joins us. And Jim, a lot of people are calling this game in London very critical for the Finns.
That's because it is, Rick, and put quarterback Ryan Tannehill right at the top of that list. After 3 lackluster performances this season, Tannehill says the team feels a, quote, sense of urgency. The Finns pack up in Davie to begin this journey across the pond. No suits and ties, everybody dressed for comfort for that long plane ride. I don't blame them. Now, last year, of course, the Dolphins had a ball over in London. They had a little bit of time to sightsee, but more importantly, after all the fun and games, they played some good football at Wembley Stadium, beat up on the Oakland Raiders 38-14. This time, the Dolphins won a rebound from an ugly home opener and showed they are much better than their 1-2 start. Now, this transcontinental journey can mess with your body clock, but the Finns feel they can handle it.
I think we got a few days to adjust to it. And I think, as far as with all the help the players have, as far as nutrition and, conditioning, I think we'll be able to do whatever it takes to, get our mind right for that 9:30 game.
Most of the guys, I think half of the team did it last year, and other guys that we got, veteran guys in the league, they took part in it in previous years. So a lot of guys know what to expect.
Well, they will be up early, and so will we Sunday. Our Dolphin lineup kicks off at 8 a.m. with the Coaches Show. Kickoff with the Finns and Jets is at 9:30, only here on CBS 4. I'll be over for some pancakes, folks. Fifth quarter postgame show right afterwards on My TV 33. Now, another loss will put the Fins at the bottom of the barrel in the AFC East and put Joe Philbin on an even hotter seat, which means that in London, they need to just win, baby. I'm Jim Barry, CBS 4 Sports.
Thanks, Jim. And tidal flooding is still an issue across much of South Florida. WFOR video here of street flooding in Indian Creek area of Miami Beach. And this was 2 hours after the morning's high tide. At around 34th Street, you can see a woman walking through high water and a nearby police cruisers blocking off a flooded street to traffic. And there continues to be tidal flooding in parts of Broward County as well. WFOR was over a neighborhood around Las Olas Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale. The high tides have us under coastal flood advisories until at least 2 a.m. Friday. The next high tide is about 11:30 tonight.
Wet out there, but let's take a look now at the latest on Hurricane Joaquin. And this is the hurricane as seen from space. And you can see these stunning images taken by NASA of the massive storm. Joaquin is now impacting the Bahamas, and it's currently a Category 4 hurricane. It's expected to move away from the Bahamas and towards the U.S. tomorrow.
It's pretty incredible to see that from space. And Craig Setzer joining us now. You've been tracking this the whole time.
Yeah, and we're starting to see signs that we think this is going to be not so bad for the U.S. Still very bad for the Bahamas, of course. It's sitting right there right now. Let's show you what's going on. This is the video from a Crooked Island earlier today where flooding, and you think of the Bahamas and you think, well, it's flat, so this is storm surge flooding, but you can also get freshwater rain flooding in the Bahamas too. This is Long Island in the Bahamas. They are feeling the effects of Joaquin, and this looks like storm surge as the wind's not that strong in this location. And the issue for us, I think, is going to be that this tidal flooding we're getting is going to continue right into next week, despite the fact that the astronomical calculations are changing. It's going to be more of a wind event in terms of just a big surge of water coming around and keeping that tidal flooding going, so we're going to deal with that for a while. Here's the satellite loop, and you can see the eye there now finally starting to come out despite how strong this hurricane is. The eye is about 20 or so miles across. Very cold cloud tops, the core of the storm just moving very, very slowly now to the west-southwest, expected to begin to turn north. If you were with us last night, I was talking about the two models that we consider some of the most reliable tracking models that we watch. One is the European and one is the GFS. Now, I put them both up last night. Here's the 5 o'clock conditions, by the way. Category 4, 130-mile-an-hour hurricane, but we're going to track these two models. The European has been continually saying it's going to go out to sea. It's going to go out to sea as it leaves the Bahamas. That's the European there. The U.S. global model, also called the GFS, last night it was here. Today it is here. It has taken a big swing to the east. The European has been consistently saying it's going this way. The global models, the U.S. global models now going to the east. We're going to look to see if that trend continues. There's the cone right now, but don't be surprised if we continue to see it moving to the east. The Hurricane Center, of course, doesn't want to have the cone go back and forth with the model. They make slow adjustments, but don't be surprised if it continues to get adjusted to the east. Here is a picture live camera right now from our Port Nassau webcam. This is in Nassau in the Bahamas, kind of scanning the bay there, the port. A little bit of wave action, but not too bad right now. 91 in Miami, 91 Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, 87 in Key West, a 5 on our stickiness scale. Not quite as humid. Humidity levels will be dropping through the weekend. Winds north-northwest, gusting to 21. Everybody seeing that west to north wind from Hollywood through Sunrise, Pompano Beach down to Key Biscayne. In terms of our weather, it's going to look pretty good the next several days. The tropical moisture, it slowly pulls away. Drier air comes on into the area. Saturday and Sunday are looking fantastic weather-wise, except a little bit on the breezy side. For tonight, warm and humid, a gentle breeze, a low temperature near 78 degrees. Tomorrow, look for a good deal of sunshine, hot, temperatures in the low 90s, breezy at times. I think the outer band is going to stay offshore from South Florida, so rain chances very low. Northwest winds on the water at 15 to 20, seas building to 6 feet and taking us through the weekend into next week. One more hot day and then a breezy, sunny, less humid weekend next week, looking like fall-ish type weather. Back to you.
All right, looking forward to that. Thank you, Craig. In tonight's Tech Minute, more teens are taking the high-tech road in order to break up a romance. A study by the Pew Research Center shows about 30% of all teens have used their phones to ditch an ex with a text. But despite the numbers, the survey found most teens agree an in-person goodbye is more acceptable despite the awkwardness.
So that's the high-tech road, not the high road.
That's
right?
Exactly, not the high road. The high road is doing it face-to-face.
Yeah, it's the high-tech road.
But it's a lot easier, I guess, to Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, gotta go. All right, well, in a more serious note, we are on top of the big breaking news story of the afternoon. A deadly shooting in Roseburg, Oregon. The Attorney General reports 13 are dead, 20 more are hurt. CBS News reports many are in critical condition. CBS 4's Elliot Rodriguez will have an update at 5:30.
Also coming up, we have a CBS 4 News consumer alert for you, and the reason IKEA is stopping sales of a very popular product that you might own. That's next.
A supermarket security guard shoots a suspected shoplifter after chasing him off the property. I'm Gabby Fleischman in Miami with the latest on the investigation.
Millions of people caught glimpses of Pope Francis during his U.S. trip, but today we'll meet a Miami man who was with him every leg of the trip. That story's coming up on CBS 4 News.
I'm Lauren Pastrana in the CBS 4 newsroom. Tomorrow on CBS 4 This Morning, Matt Damon plays an astronaut stranded on Mars in the new movie The Martian. And part of the key to his survival is his unique spacesuit that could be a little tricky to use on Earth. How he got through it in tomorrow's Friday Flicks. That and more starting at 5 a.m. right here on CBS 4.
AvMed, we know that being an early bird can be pretty special. That these are truly the golden years, that you want better choices. With AvMed Medicare, you can choose from an extensive network of doctors and hospitals, and there's no monthly premium. We know this is your time to hit the greens. That 65 is the new 50. That's why we give you silver sneakers, emergency coverage anywhere in the world, and lots of preventive care to help you feel as young outside as you feel inside. So keep walking the dog and reaching for the stars. Call 1-877-558-9355 to learn more about AvMed. With the personal attention of our Florida-based staff, AvMed will be with you every step of the way. Call now for your free guide to Medicare.
You have the power to make this decision to quit smoking. It took me to get to a mature age where I understood that if I didn't stop, I was gonna put myself in the same position that my mother was in. And I wanted to make a choice while I still had the chance to be here for my daughter.
Tobacco Free Florida offers free nicotine replacement patches. Call 1-877-YOU-CAN now.
Whoa, come here. Come try this cheese I got.
That is really good.
Right?
Yeah. Where'd you get this?
The Publix Deli. Comes from a special creamery on an island outside the UK.
A little sharp, nutty. It's probably got a really classy name, right? Hard to pronounce.
That's crazy.
Do it. Blow
Ready?
my cheese mind.
Are you
Hit
ready?
it. I'm ready.
Cheddar.
We went all the way to the Isle of Man to find the perfect specialty cheddar. It's the cheese upgrade you'll love, and so will everyone else. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
You'll feel like you bought from the factory. Headquarter Toyota.
A CBS 4 News consumer alert tonight. Shoppers will no longer be able to purchase window blinds with cords at IKEA. The Swedish furniture retailer ditched the cords because of the risk of strangulation for children. According to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, an average of one child died every month between 1996 and 2012 from window cord strangulation. The new policy kicked in today.
Well, for months, a Miami man kept a closely guarded secret, one that would eventually lead him to not only meeting Pope Francis, but working with him side by side for days.
CBS 4's Ted Scouten spoke to him, and he has the story.
He touched it and then he blessed it.
Christian Marin never imagined he'd have the chance to ask Pope Francis to personally bless his cherished 1916 Bible. And he certainly never dreamed he'd be with the Pope on every leg of his trip to the United States.
The most difficult thing is not being able to tell anyone, not even my mom.
Christian is a flight attendant for American Airlines. He was sworn to secrecy when the airline selected him to be part of the papal charter. Americans shuttled the Pope around the U.S. and back to Rome on what was dubbed Shepherd 1.
I say, okay, when is this going to happen? And they said, September the 24th, you will initiate. And I said, September 24th? And they said, yes, September 24th. And I just could not believe it because that's my birthday.
On his 49th birthday, Christian met the Pope.
When he arrives, our hearts were pounding. And then you realize that he's the most simple and humble person that exists.
Christian, of all names, is a devout Catholic who's made pilgrimages to the Vatican and followed the last 3 popes. But this went far beyond anything he'd ever experienced.
The first time we shake hands with him, it's like touching someone incredibly special. You feel such a presence, and his soft hand is like really unbelievable.
The moment that will always remain in Christian's memory came 5 hours into the flight back to Rome.
I cannot believe that in front of me I'm seeing the Pope sleeping. He just looked like an angel. It was just the most surreal moment of my whole experience.
Christian says in his career he feels quite lucky. He's been able to meet many very famous people, from celebrity to royalty, but when it comes to most meaningful, he says Pope Francis is right there at the top. At Miami International Airport, Ted Scouten, CBS 4 News.
We are on top of breaking news out of Oregon. A deadly shooting at a community college there. At least 13 people dead, as many as 20 others wounded.
CBS 4's Elliot Rodriguez has been tracking this story all day. He's in the newsroom with the very latest. Elliot.
Rick and Rutabaga, the Attorney General of Oregon, says 13 people were killed in this mass shooting. That number includes the gunmen who exchanged gunfire with police officers. A total of 20 others are wounded, many of them critically. Now, this happened on the campus of Umpqua Community College in Roseburg, Oregon, about 175 miles south of Portland. It's a small school with between 2,000 and 2,500 students. The injured have been taken to an area hospital. Reports are the shooting started in the science building, and the gunman went to other classrooms where he opened fire. A short time ago, the governor of Oregon spoke to reporters about the mass shooting.
While it is still too early to know all of the facts, I know I am joined by my fellow Oregonians and Americans in profound dismay and heartbreak at this tragedy at Umpqua Community College. We have confirmation that the shooter is deceased. He is a 20-year-old male. Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and their families.
A local station in the area spoke to a student who said a group of students were huddled into a library. She said they stayed inside while the shots were being fired, and at one point they prayed together. Reports out of the area say the gunman posted on social media possibly about the shooting, but details of those postings have not been released. In the newsroom, Elliot Rodriguez, CBS 4 News.
Elliot, thank you. Now let's go to Hurricane Joaquin, which we're tracking, an extremely dangerous Category 4 storm now, already creating a lot of problems for people in the Bahamas.
Yeah, take a look at this video from Long Island, Bahamas. The Nassau Guardian captured this video. All of that rain from Joaquin has flooded streets and homes in the neighborhoods there.
CBS 4 Chief Meteorologist Craig Setzer also tracking Joaquin for us. He's in weather control with the latest. Craig.
The latest is not good news, of course, for the Bahamas. A slow-moving Category 4 storm that is going to have to eventually turn and then begin to head back out away from the island. So that's going to happen over the next 12 to 24 hours. So the weather not going to improve quickly. Winds at 130 miles an hour, about 15 miles to the northwest of Crooked Island there in the Bahamas. Now here's the future track. There's the turn by Friday, starting to pull away from the Bahamas, still Category 4. Could even get a little bit stronger, but still likely in the Category 4 or upper end Category 4 range. And then by Saturday morning, overnight, Friday here at this position, Saturday during the day, moving to the north. Now the forecast is for it to make a mostly northward movement here. The cone shifting a bit away from the east coast. Still parts of the northeast in the cone, but the trend looks like now it's going to be away from the east coast. And here's what's going on. We've been talking about it for days. This dip in the jet stream back here, this block up here, and that block effectively trying to keep Joaquin going to the north or even northwest. But it's this feature way out here in the ocean. This upper level low may be the thing that breaks this block. That may be what the European computer models have been sensing. It would give a pathway for Joaquin to turn to the north and then to the northeast. That would be great news, having Joaquin stay away from the east U.S. coast. We need to know about this little thing out here, this possible block breaker. There's Joaquin. This is it here. So NOAA is sending out their G4 jet. It's out there right now. That's the current position to sample this, add this information to the computer models, and hopefully improve that. Unfortunately, we won't know what the computer models say until later tonight and tomorrow after that information gets in, but hopefully it has good news and a turn away from the U.S. coast. I'll have more on that forecast coming up in a bit.
Thank you, Craig. And remember, you can track Joaquin at any time. Just head to the tropics section on our website, cbsmiami.com.
Now at 5:30, a security guard fights back, shooting a suspected shoplifter at a Miami supermarket. That security guard chased the man from the store early this morning.
The suspect was actually shot 2 blocks away. CBS 4's Gabby Fleischman has how all this played out.
A security guard accused of shooting a suspected shoplifter is questioned by detectives and dusted for gunshot residue. The alleged thief is taken to the hospital for treatment. Police say early Thursday morning, the security guard chased a man accused of stealing from the Price Choice supermarket at Northeast 18th Street and 2nd Avenue. About 2 blocks away, they struggled, a shot was fired, and the suspected shoplifter took a bullet to the arm.
Definitely out of the usual. I've been here for 11 years and we haven't got that type of incident, you know.
According to the supermarket's manager, 2 men came into the store at around 6 a.m. At checkout, one of them bought eggs and milk, but he says the second guy stuffed stolen items in his pants and tried to leave without paying.
And if anybody gets shoplifting, we take the merchandise away from them. If it's something real big, we call the cops.
Instead, he says the guard got in his car and went after them. What led to the struggle and what caused the guard to pull the trigger remains under investigation. When asked if the guard should have left the property to chase the guy, the manager said,
"Absolutely not."
Police say the man who was shot was taken to the hospital in stable condition. At this point in the investigation, it's not clear if either of the men will be facing any charges. From Miami, Gabby Fleischman, CBS 4 News.
New at 5:30, a Cooper City man is being held without bond on DUI manslaughter charges. 32-year-old Michael Vincent Smith faced a judge this morning. The Broward Sheriff's Office says Smith was drinking on September 11th when he got behind the wheel of his car and hit Robert Wimpy, who was walking his dog while wearing a reflective vest. Wimpy died at the hospital 10 days after the crash.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu providing some chilling moments during his speech at the United Nations General Assembly today. Netanyahu taking aim at world governments for failing to condemn Iran for threatening to destroy his country. He says the recent passage of the nuclear deal with Iran allows it to, quote, go on the prowl to do what it wants and makes the possibility of war more likely.
70 years after the murder of 6 million Jews, Iran's rulers promised to destroy my country, murder my people. And the response from this body, the response from nearly every one of the governments represented here, has been absolutely nothing. Utter silence. Deafening silence.
And to make his point even more, Netanyahu actually stopped speaking for nearly a minute and then told the assembly that if Iran's rulers were working to destroy their countries, they wouldn't be very thrilled about any nuclear deal.
Still to come, a taste of the town.
It's a restaurant pulling South Beach foodies north to Hallandale Beach. Lisa Petrillo takes you to Hyde Beach Kitchen and Cocktail later on.
First, are you ready for Thursday night football? CBS 4 sports anchor Jim Barry is, and he joins us with a preview of tonight's game, only right here on CBS 4.
And a wedding guest doesn't show at the last minute, so should she be billed? It happened to one woman. We'll have her reaction coming up.
Greg Setzer in CBS 4 Weather Control. The breeze beginning to pick up thanks to Joaquin to our southeast. You can see the trees, the palms swaying there. I've got to look at your forecast through the weekend coming up.
And I'm Elliot Rodriguez in the newsroom. We're on top of breaking news out of Oregon, a massacre at a community college there. We'll have the latest information out of that state. Also, deadly crash. A driver accused of being drunk when he struck and killed 2 people takes a stand in court, but he's blaming the crash on instead of alcohol.
I'm Peter Danch in Northwest Miami-Dade, where a mother is asking for your help in a cold case. The murder of her teenage daughter 11 years ago.
She was only my baby, and I miss her every day, every day.
We'll also have new details from police in our story coming up.
Those stories and more coming up on CBS 4 News at 6.
Smart technology can help you make the most of family time. It can bring you together in bold new ways and help create unforgettable moments. And now, the energy that powers smart technology is smart too. With FPL's online energy dashboard, you can view your energy use over time and check how changes in temperature affect your bill. And with the free online home energy survey, you'll find new ways to save up to $250 a year. Visit fpl.com/easy to save and start today.
I test all my patients. HIV ends with me.
I know I'm safe. HIV ends with me. I never share. HIV ends with me.
HIV is 100% preventable. Together, we can protect our community. Get tested. Know your status. Because Broward is greater than AIDS.
The perfect seed, the love, the experience and know-how are producing premium quality garden ripe Italian tomatoes to make palmy so that you can.
I palmy everything. I palmy pizza. I palmy fish. I palmy pasta. Palmy is 100% natural, fresh tasting Italian garden ripe tomatoes ready to use.
Palmy, the tomato revolution from Italy.
Hey, Curtis Stone here with this week's Winn-Dixie Cooking with Curtis for under $10 recipe featuring apples. In my pan-seared pork chops with roasted apples and sweet potatoes, all for under $10.
Winn-Dixie's Cooking with Curtis for under $10. Recipes are available in-store or at winndixie.com now.
$10, that's amazing.
So come on, grab your $10, some Winn-Dixie apples, my recipes, and let's eat well for less.
That is delicious.
Never miss out on the best shows again. Xfinity has instant access to the top 100 shows on demand. Preloaded, ready to watch anytime.
The massive amount of shows is fantastic.
You know what? I'm gonna go get us a snack.
This is unbelievable.
Is that enough popcorn?
This is the coolest thing.
Ask how to start enjoying the top 100 shows today. Or get started with Xfinity TV for $19.99 a month for 12 months. Call 1-800-556-0000 or go online.
And we are counting down to kickoff for Thursday Night Football tonight with CBS 4 sports anchor Jim Barry. Jim, good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
These chairs not as comfortable as ones we have sat in before.
That's all right.
Ones you
watch a little football tonight, kick back.
Steelers and the Ravens right here on CBS 4. Let's talk about this game because a lot of questions. Big Ben Roethlisberger is out.
Yep.
Michael Vick, who I think is almost as old as I am, is in. What's the offense going to be like for the Steelers?
Pretty basic, and that's what we saw the minute that Roethlisberger went out last week. And of course, it was a very scary injury that we saw Roethlisberger have. Guy cut him at the knees, and frankly, Ben thought that he was done for the season. As we look at the video from last week, here it is, Roethlisberger going back, and you'll see on the replay that he goes down in a heap. Now, the word is he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if it's longer. They say it's just a sprain. But anyway, enter 35-year-old Michael Vick, hardly the dynamic player that he used to be in his prime. More of a game manager now, Rick. He's not going to throw the ball downfield like Big Ben did. His best thing, handed off to Le'Veon Bell, one of the best running backs in the game. Pittsburgh did win last week, 12-6. So they're not exactly going to be burning up offensively, I don't think.
And Vic probably not the threat to run out of the backfield as much as he used to be. Anyway,
no, but he's still pretty agile.
Let's talk about the Ravens. This, of course, is a defense-first team.
Yep.
But they're struggling this year. What's the deal with Baltimore?
Well, they've had some injuries on defense, so I think you're seeing a bit of a letdown there. But the big problem for them is offense. And as we look at it here last week, Andy Dalton right up the gut. This never used to happen against a Baltimore Raven defense. So that's something that is different. But I think the big issue here, they can't run the ball at all. Sounds like another team we know here in Miami.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the problem is Joe Flacco's putting the ball up for grabs a lot. There's a pick 6 last week. And so I think the Ravens have to learn how to run the ball again. But Flacco, being the leader that he is not panicking. They're 0-3, but they understand that if they lose tonight, their season is essentially over. So I think I like them tonight.
Bring back the leather chairs next week, will you, Jim?
We'll try it.
All right. Don't remember, the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight right here on CBS 4. A do-or-die game, according to Jim Barry. Kickoff.
I want the lazy boys.
8:25. And that, of course, will be followed by the CBS 4 News later on tonight.
All right, you guys work work on those chairs. And still to come, they missed a wedding they were scheduled to attend. So imagine their surprise when they got a bill for not showing up. That story's next.
I'm Lisa Petrillo at Hyde Beach Kitchen and Cocktails here in Hollandale. It is a taste of the town from all over the world. It's brand new, and that story and your taste, or mine, is coming up.
Whoa, come here. Let me try this cheese I got.
That is really good.
Right?
Yeah. Where'd you get this?
The Publix Deli. Comes from a special creamery on an island outside the UK.
A little sharp, nutty. It's probably got a really classy name, right? Hard to pronounce.
That's crazy.
Do it. Blow my cheese mind.
Are you
Hit
ready?
it. I'm ready.
Cheddar.
We went all the way to the Isle of Man to find the perfect specialty cheddar. It's the cheese upgrade you'll love, and so will everyone else. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Now through Monday only. Stop, look, then shop Rooms to Go and pick from 100 beautiful rooms under $1,000. Don't wait. Furnish your home in your style right now with beautiful living rooms under $1,000, dining rooms under $1,000, bedrooms under $1,000, 100 great rooms under $1,000. And check this out. Finance for $20 or less per month, interest-free. That's now through Monday only at Rooms to Go. Don't miss it.
The Honda for You sales event is happening now, and you could get a great deal on a 2015 Honda Accord. The Accord is the best-selling midsize car in America, which makes sense because it's also the best value. And the Accord is loaded with standard features. So hurry into your Honda dealer today, and you could get a great deal on a 2015 Accord during the Honda for You sales event.
Well, one of Fort Lauderdale's busiest streets is painted pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Today, a ceremony was held to paint the intersection of Southwest 2nd Street and Southwest 1st Avenue pink. The city of Fort Lauderdale teaming up with AutoNation to help raise awareness about a very worthy cause, breast cancer.
Across America tonight, relatives of a newlywed couple got a big surprise from the bride and groom for not attending their wedding, a bill. Jessica Baker says she and her husband planned to attend the wedding, but their babysitter canceled at the last minute. So when they received an invoice in the mail, they couldn't believe they were being billed for bailing on the big day.
I just thought that since the invitation said no children, I would abide by the invitation. Was pretty shocked to see that I was being charged $75 for herb-crusted walleye and a service and tax charge.
The groom said they actually sent the invoices to 3 relatives, but it was never about the money. They were just hurt their relatives didn't show up, and I guess that's how they show it.
Hard feelings. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Hollywood making its annual descent on the catwalk, capital Paris, France.
It's the 42nd year of Paris Fashion Week, something highlighted in the movie The Devil Wears Prada. The Insider's Debbie Matenopoulos is in Los Angeles with more on the stars and what they are and aren't wearing.
Yeah, Rick and Rutabaga, it seems they're wearing less and less clothes doing it, too. Case in point, Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid got all laced up and bared almost everything for a girls' night out on the town in the City of Lights.
Kendall, can we have a picture, please?
Kendall, in a sheer Balmain pant showing her thong, caused a flash bulb frenzy as she and her pal Gigi, in a sparkling green short mini, joined the label's Olivier Roustin to culminate a day of fashion.
Their looks that they wore to a Vogue dinner in Paris last night rocked down the runway at Balmain this morning. It
caused quite the stir.
Our insider, Yahoo style managing editor Britt Abu Taleb breaks down Paris Fashion Week Day 2.
One of the things you can always count on in Paris is that sense of theatricality and that sense of fantasy.
Are all at the same show. It's kind of like going on tour with your friends.
A rock star of style tour. Earlier, both ladies dominated the Balmain catwalk. Kendall showed off her incredible figure in a white lattice cutout dress as she worked the runway. In another look, she kept the ponytail as she sported a camel-colored belt to show off her tiny waist. Also there, her mom, 59-year-old Kris Jenner with her 34-year-old boyfriend, Corey Gamble. Gigi also got some support from her constant companion, Joe Jonas.
How do you pick the fashion? You know what? I just look through the lookbooks.
Or show up in person. Jada Pinkett Smith in a very revealing bodysuit with eyelet miniskirt was cheeky, giving us her Balmain best.
Jada Pinkett Smith looked amazing at Balmain. It's really nice after you've been doing this for a long time to see a new face in the crowd.
You know what? I've decided in another life, I want to come back as Jada Pinkett Smith. Is it too much to ask? I mean, talk about foxy after 40. Ricky Rudabay, back to you.
You could pull it off, Debbie. Well, the Insider will not be seen tonight because of Thursday Night Football, but you can catch the show weeknights at 7:30, right after Entertainment Tonight at 7, right here on CBS 4.
And Craig Setzer here. How do you follow that, Craig?
I don't really even want to try because I know that that's a dangerous thing to do. So let's go right to weather and talk about what's going on in the Bahamas. Of course, we're continuing to track Hurricane Joaquin, Category 4. The eye showing up this afternoon on the hurricane as it moves to the west. A very tight core here with very strong winds of 130 miles an hour and just slowly, which is really a bad case scenario, slowly moving through the Bahamas. It's going to be a long night in the Bahamas. It was a long day for hurricane hunters, too. The Air Force Reserve flew out there, and you can see crisscross through the storm. Took some center fixes there and confirmed that the pressure was continuing to fall and may continue to do so. We're at Category 4. The next step would be Category 5. I don't think it's going to get that strong, but it may get even stronger through the Category 4 range. Here's the 5 o'clock advisory. 130 mile an hour hurricane. Pressure way down there. Pressure is not really a measure of intensity, but just is kind of an estimation or a representation of how deep the storm is. It's very, very deep. Normal pressure is about 1,014, so it is way down there. Category 4 moving to the southwest at 6. One of the things we look at, it's the probability of tropical storm force winds, and computer models are run based on the track, the intensity of the storm, the width of the storm, to estimate where the chances of tropical storm force winds are or will be. 33% Cape Hatteras, 24% in Ocean City, and 20% at Cape Cod. But I think as we go forward in time and this track starts to shift eastward, which I think it's going to do, we'll see these values come down, which certainly would be good news up on the East Coast. Once again, a quick look there at the hurricane and our high today. It was warm, 91 degrees, normal is 88. We're going to be not so warm over the weekend, but still pretty warm tomorrow. 91 Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, low 77. 87 in Key West was the high. Southeast, we've had some rain over parts of Georgia and the Carolinas. Temperatures there in the 70s and 80s. This is some of this relatively cooler air that's headed our way. Unfortunately, it's not going to be cooler here, but it will be drier over the weekend. And a big mess along the East Coast. And this is just tropical moisture that has come up ahead of Joaquin. Flood watches and flood warnings in effect for a good deal of the mid-Atlantic states into the Northeast. A very, very messy situation there. Here's our forecast for tonight. It's going to be a nice night. Gentle breeze, warm and humid, a low near 78 degrees. For tomorrow, look for a good deal of sunshine. Hot, breezy at times, a high temperature near 92. Rain chances pretty low for tomorrow. Pollen count showing that mold is back up high. Grasses, mulberry, and willow showing up in allergy index. And taking us through the weekend into next week. One more hot day and then not as hot and not as humid for the weekend. Next week, back to normal type of weather. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Craig. Well, it's a hot new restaurant. It's leading a lot of diners to leave South Beach and head north.
How could you not? Lisa Petrillo takes you inside the all-new Hyde Kitchen and Cocktail next.
It's easy to turn any home into a smart home with style and still save energy and money. And now it's your chance to win a smart home energy makeover when you take FPL's online home energy survey. Find your smart savings at fpl.com/easy to save.
One word.
Impressive.
Compassionate.
Remarkable.
Amazing.
One word can save your life. When they all come together, you have Memorial Cardiac and Vascular Institute. Total Heart Care. See the stories behind the words and what one word can mean to you at memorialcardiac.com/totalheart.
Saturday, October 3rd, Gulfstream Park. Your last chance to catch South Florida's hottest summer series, the Summer Soiree and the Florida Sire Stakes. Come and enjoy an international array of beers, top shelf bourbon, and gourmet burgers, all while enjoying world-class racing by leading jockeys and Florida's top horses. Get here early and get your Gulfstream Park fedora while supplies last. Parking and admission are always free. Visit GulfstreamPark.com for details.
Duende, Broward County celebrates 100 years.
What's Duende all about? Street performers and street art, DJs and dancing, light shows and live bands, reggae and salsa, tango, flamenco, pop and house, and Neil Goldberg's Broadway-style weave, the passion and rhythm of the people. So for everything you'll want to know, go to Broward100.org. Duende. Now this is the way to celebrate 100 years.
It's easy to turn any home into a smart home with style and still save energy and money. And now it's your chance to win a smart home energy makeover when you take FPL's online home energy survey. Find your smart savings at fpl.com/easy to save.
Hope you're hungry, because it's time for a taste of the town and a fresh new vibe happening on Hallandale Beach these days.
Yeah, that vibe is bringing South Beach regulars north. CBS 4's Lisa Petrillo takes us inside the all-new Hyde Beach Kitchen and Cocktails.
Welcome to Hyde Beach Kitchen and Cocktails, the newest, hippest, coolest eatery to hit Hallandale Beach, literally. Hyde Beach is on the beach, dining outside and in.
Like, hello, Hallandale Beach, and we never knew anything like this was going to be here.
Yeah.
Kind of like wake up to being young, right?
We're very proud of this property, and so far we've got great support from the city of Hallandale, and the residents come in and they told us how long they've been waiting for something like this, so we encourage everybody to come out and see what we've done.
With other locations on South Beach, Las Vegas, and Hollywood Sunset Strip, this Hyde Beach is a 3-story lifestyle destination with the main restaurant as the center attraction. The look is light, beachy, airy, and sophisticated.
And then you come up to the second floor and you feel like you're on a small town in the Mediterranean, that you can still see the seagulls fly over and smell the ocean air. It's beautiful.
Chef Sergio Chamito says Hyde has a menu that covers it all.
We got a great variety of seafood. We got like 5 different types of fish and seafood. We got a great oyster bar, lobster, poached shrimp, scallops, everything.
And creative cocktails are as important as the food. An example, this long and lean ginger spice mojito.
Wow, it's got kick, it's got citrus, and it's got fun.
Nice and straight. Some grated carrots.
Sergio prepares my kale kimchi salad with fried tofu, pumpkin seeds, avocado, and, well, the kitchen sink. Oh, and did I mention the pumpkin brioche with maple butter and salt?
It just tastes like a pumpkin dessert, almost like a pumpkin pie in a yummy, warm hug.
Next, true Spanish-style grilled octopus with saffron potatoes.
This is a very unique way of making octopus. Very authentic to Spain. Delicious.
The word oxtail has always frightened me, but Chef's oxtail bucatini with red wine and garlic instantly put me at ease.
The pasta, the bucatini, is cooked al dente, so it's the right blend of sort of a smooth meat with a lot of flavor, and then a little bit of the bite in the pasta.
And finally, dessert, the perfect size key lime pie.
Don't leave without having the key lime pie for dessert.
Hyde Beach Kitchen and Cocktails, bringing a whole new vibe and service to the heart of Hallandale Beach.
Enjoying the outside as well. Hyde Kitchen and Cocktail is open 7 days a week, dinner only. The Hyde Beach Bar is open for breakfast and lunch. With your taste of the town in sunny South Florida, I'm Lisa Petrillo, CBS 4 News.
Making us hungry as always. Hyde Beach Kitchen and Cocktails is located at 111 South Surf Road in Hallandale Beach. And finally at 5:30, Tim Tebow is back in the news tonight for making the day of a young cancer patient. Take a look.
What's up, Nathaniel? How you doing, buddy? Can
More than 7 million people have watched this video of Tebow visiting the cancer patient at Wolfson Children's Hospital in Jacksonville. As you can see, the boy is a die-hard Gators fan. Nathaniel Nelson has been in the hospital for 2 months for treatment for a form of leukemia. Tebow visited the boy last week, prompting him to break down in tears of joy. How about that, Elliot?
A true Gator fan. He had everything decked out.
What's happening at 6?
Here's what's coming up.
Breaking news, a gunman opens fire in a community college campus in Oregon. Tracking Joaquin, a major hurricane is on the move tonight, and Craig Setzer has the new advisory and future track. Deadly crash, a man accused of driving drunk and killing 2 people takes the stand in his own defense. And teaming up, South Florida volleyball players rally around a coach battling cancer. CBS 4 News at 6 starts right now.
This is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
We begin with breaking news. There's been a deadly shooting at a community college campus in Southwest Oregon. The governor of that state addressed reporters late this afternoon about the shooting. CBS 4 anchor Rick Folbaum is live in the newsroom with the breaking details. Rick.
Well, Elliot, these details are still coming in. Let me share with you what we know. CBS News is reporting 13 dead, 20 more wounded, and the shooter, described as a 20-year-old male, is also dead, apparently after a shootout with police. Many of those injured are in critical condition. This happened on the campus of Umpqua Community College in Roseburg, Oregon. That's about 175 miles south of Portland. This is a very small school, less than 3,000 students, no full-time security staff there. The injured have been taken to an area hospital. Reports are the shooting actually started in a science building, and then the gunman went to other classrooms where he also opened fire. We're hearing the shooter posted something on social media just this morning. We do not yet know if those postings were a warning of any kind, whether they gave any insight into what prompted this shooting. The sheriff and the governor of Oregon, as you mentioned, just talking to reporters a short time ago.
They located the shooter in one of the buildings. Officers engaged that suspect. There was an exchange of gunfire. The shooter threat was neutralized.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and their families. We are holding the community of Douglas County in our hearts today.
CBS News is reporting that President Obama has, of course, been notified of the shooting. There are also reports the president may have a statement on this on camera within the half hour. This is the 142nd school shooting in this country since the Newtown, Connecticut school shooting back in 2012. Elliot, back to you.
Rick, thank you. And look for much more on the deadly college shooting on the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley ahead at 6:30. Right now, we are tracking Hurricane Joaquin, which has intensified to a Category 4 storm churning in the Atlantic Ocean. This is video making the rounds on social media out of the Bahamas. You can see the wind and the heavy rains have really picked up there. The latest advisory and the forecast track is in. And Craig Setzer, we have a lot of viewers in the Bahamas and a lot of folks here with friends and relatives, a lot of ties to the Bahamas, a lot of concern.
That's right. A lot of concern tonight for the folks in the Bahamas, especially the central Bahamas. It looks like, based on the new forecast track, that the northwest Bahamas, Nassau, Grand Bahama, as well as the Abacos, will be spared the worst of this, or the core of this, as of 5 p.m., 15 miles to the northwest of Crooked Island. Category 4 is still drifting to the west-southwest at about 6 miles an hour, 130-mile-an-hour sustained winds. Here's the future track for the next day or so. It's Category 4, but starting to pull out of the Bahamas during the day on Friday, and by Friday night into Saturday, it's moving considerably faster away from the Bahamas. It's also at its closest approach to South Florida. That's when I think our breeze is going to be strongest. So Friday into Saturday, a pretty good breeze. And there's also a weakening trend because it's going to start to encounter a little bit of shear. Also slightly cooler waters. Category 2 is the forecast, eventually Category 1, and then tropical storm strength. This is the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday time frame, but the cone is starting to shift a bit to the east now as a lot of the models have once again gone back to the east. Here's the water vapor loop. There's Joaquin. There is the dip in the jet stream to our west. We've been talking about this for several days now, this dip taking Joaquin to the north, but would it pull it back to the west thanks to the blocking high pressure, or would it somehow manage to find a way out? I think this is going to be our key player. It's right there. This block breaker, this low right here, may break this blocking high down. That would allow Joaquin to stay away from the East Coast. We'll keep watching the models and see how it goes through time to see if that's the case. So far, the models, some of them still go to the west, but An increasing number are once again now starting to go back to the east. And of course, the European model, we don't plot that here. It has been consistently saying this storm is not going to affect the east coast of the U.S. It may be a winner, too early to tell. We'll keep our eyes on that. I'll have your local forecast come up in just a bit.
Craig, thanks a lot. All new at 6, a man accused of driving drunk and killing 2 people took the stand in his own defense today. The dramatic crash was caught on video when it happened 2 years ago in Coral Gables. Today, that driver testified that the crash happened because he was tired, not because he was drunk. CBS 4's Natalia Zaya is live in Miami with what happened in court. Natalia.
Well, Irvin's Pruden admits he had 3 drinks on the night of this deadly crash, but he says that has nothing to do with it. He blames sheer exhaustion. Marlon Gutierrez and Maria Martinez sat in their Toyota Corolla, slowly stopping at this red light in Coral Gables, unaware of the intensely violent wreck that was to come that would take both of their lives. The impact caused their car to burst into flames and shatter into pieces. It also caused the driver at fault, local DJ Irvin's Pruden, to fly into his windshield, requiring more than a dozen staples in his scalp and more than 2 years of rehabilitation.
Which there's no doubt you were injured in that accident. Yes, ma'am.
The crash also put Pruden's future in question. He's charged with DUI manslaughter for the wreck. He says he attended a wedding at the Coral Gables Country Club after working a double shift at a Miami Beach restaurant and running errands after work. On his way home from the wedding, after drinking a vodka Sprite and 2 glasses of champagne, he says he fell asleep.
So once I made the right turn and I started driving, and then from then on, I don't know what happened after that. It was off.
How do you know you fell asleep?
Because I don't remember what happened.
Okay, but you're calling that a fall asleep.
That's what it is.
The prosecutor pointed out that he was honking his horn and passing vehicles seconds before he slammed into the victims.
You changed lanes, passing Marcela Pena from behind her. You maneuver yourself into the lane right next to her.
Defense attorney Ed O'Donnell pointed out that 5 blocks before this tragedy, witnesses saw he ran another red light, asserting he was slumped over on the gas pedal.
Did you have any reason to willfully, at a high rate of speed, run through a major intersection where the light is hard red?
No, sir, no willing.
Pruden also said he has never forgotten that his actions took the lives of 2 people whose loved ones packed the courtroom. Now, Pruden's blood alcohol level was more than twice the legal limit. He says, though, that's because he had an empty stomach. He said he was not intoxicated. Closing arguments are expected to start tomorrow morning. Natalia Zaya, CBS 4 News.
Natalia, thank you. New details tonight that could heat up a cold case, the murder of a teenage girl inside her Northwest Miami-Dade home 11 years ago. For the first time, we're hearing from the still grieving mother of the victim. She spoke to CBS 4's Peter Dench.
Very, very precious, and and I miss it a lot.
Delcia Oliva cherishes the memories captured in this video of her daughter's quince, her 15th birthday party. She dreamed of becoming a doctor or a nurse.
She was only my baby, and and I miss her every day, every day. Every day.
Oliva has thought of her daughter every day since she was stabbed to death inside their Colonial Acres mobile home in September of 2004.
Every time when I go to somewhere where I go to her, I remember her.
Delcia was her only child.
It's so difficult. It was only one baby. I don't have no more babies.
Oliva last saw her daughter watching TV late at night. Oliva left for work the next morning. A few hours later, her husband, the teen's stepfather, Raul Mata, told police he left home for 90 minutes. And when he returned, he made the chilling discovery and called 911.
We need someone to come here. My daughter, somebody killed my daughter.
The stepfather and Oliva have since separated. He's moved to California. Police say he is a suspect, but he denied any involvement in the death.
I do believe that there is at least one individual out there that can shed some light.
Robert Miller is the lead detective.
I take this case personal because, this is a young, vibrant, 16-year-old girl who's in the prime of her life.
Delcia's mother prays someone will come forward.
Talk, to help me to be, to help me to justice, to come out, all the truth.
Police tell us the murder weapon was never recovered, but there are some leads. New items are being tested because of advances in DNA technology. If you can help police with this case, Call them or Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS. In Northwest Miami-Dade, Peter Natch, CBS 4 News.
There is fallout tonight following the death of an inmate at the Juvenile Detention Center in Miami-Dade. 5 staffers, including 3 supervisors, have been fired for failing to oversee detained children and falsifying official reports. 17-year-old Elord Revolte died in late August after a vicious attack by more than a dozen detainees at the Miami-Dade juvenile lockup. Miami-Dade police and the State Department of Juvenile Justice are investigating his death, including whether it's common practice for guards to use treats like candy and snacks as a way to entice detainees to punish other kids. And now to the historic change in U.S.-Cuba relations. A State Department official says U.S. airlines are eager to begin service to the island. A second round of talks was held today between the U.S. and Cuba on aviation matters, but there is still no timetable on when regular service will begin. So far, half a dozen U.S. carriers have expressed interest in flights to the island. Cuban officials say they'd also like its airline to offer service to the U.S. Still to come on CBS 4 News at 6, we're waiting to hear from President Barack Obama right now to speak about the mass shooting at a community college in Oregon. That's a live picture from Washington. Also ahead, a man shot right by his home overnight. Tonight, the search for the gunman who left the man to die. And we are tracking Major Hurricane Joaquin. We're live in North Carolina, where residents are preparing for that storm.
Craig Setzer in CBS 4 Weather Control. Another place where folks are watching the storm very closely, if not under the effects of the storm. It's the Bahamas, where hurricane warnings are in effect for much of the islands. Hurricane watch is in effect for Bimini, just to our east. I've got a look at your forecast coming up. CBS 4 News at 6 is coming right back.
Brand new car and new furniture.
Now that's a win-win. Before they're gone, get final model year-end clearance prices on all 15 Kias at Rick Case. Now you can get up to $5,000 in Ashley or City furniture at no cost. This week at Rick Case Kia on Sunrise at the Sawgrass.
What sets us apart is who we bring together. At UHealth, you don't just get a doctor. You have a specialized team of physician experts, researchers, and nurses relentlessly focused on you. UHealth is the University of Miami health system.
Air Force One is missing. We lost all communication somewhere over the Pacific.
What could knock all that out?
Nothing, ma'am.
Someone is trying to take down our government.
We need an acting president.
Repeat after me.
I, Elizabeth Adams McCord, will faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States. This is an act of war.
Your first act as president might be to shoot down Air Force One.
Madam Secretary returns Sunday, only CBS.
Thursday Night Rush, presented by Xfinity.
Here's a look at the Thursday night game for Week 4 of the NFL. After losing Ben Roethlisberger to a leg injury, the Steelers host a winless Ravens team. For the first time in franchise history, Baltimore enters the game 0-3, looking to capitalize on Big Ben's absence. But Pittsburgh aims to fend them off with Michael Vick starting at QB. Enjoy the game, everyone.
X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV. Visit Xfinity.com/X1 today.
Hi, I'm Curtis Stone, and this is Winn-Dixie's Cooking with Curtis for under $10. Each month, I'll choose one seasonal ingredient from Winn-Dixie's fantastic fresh produce and create a new, delicious, nutritious recipe every week with that ingredient as hero.
So delicious.
And each one will cost less than $10 to make.
Winn-Dixie's Cooking with Curtis for under $10. Recipes are available in-store or at WinnDixie.com now.
So come on, grab your $10, get into Winn-Dixie, and let's eat well for less.
You can get up to $5,000 in furniture from Rick Case. Final clearance prices on all 15 Kias. Now you can pay nothing till next year. Get up to $5,000 in furniture at no cost, and we'll double your factory warranty. Only at Rick Case Kia on Sunrise at the Sawgrass.
You'll feel like you bought from the factory.
Tonight, police are searching for the person who killed a young man in Northwest Miami-Dade. Police say 27-year-old Irvin Davis was shot near 24th Avenue and 81st Terrace, right next to his home. The shooting happened just a few blocks from where 24-year-old Precious Jackson was shot to death in her front yard 6 weeks ago. Community members are now asking people who know anything to please come forward.
Just know that a lot of lives are being taken, whether it be innocent or intended targets, but we do ask the neighborhood to just break the code of silence.
Anyone with information is asked to call Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS. Caught on camera, the FBI is searching for the man in this picture right here. He robbed the BB&T Bank this afternoon on University Drive in Coral Springs. Police say no one was injured in the robbery. Anyone with information is asked to contact the FBI or your local police department. We are tracking Hurricane Joaquin right now, which has now been upgraded to a Category 4 storm, churning in the Atlantic Ocean. Right now, communities along the East Coast are preparing for the storm. CBS 4's Weijia Jiang joins us live from Nags Head, North Carolina, with the preparations there. Weijia?
Elliot, there is no consensus about what Joaquin has in store for the East Coast, but there is no doubt either that it could have such a devastating impact, and that's why so many states already have heavy equipment in place and crews out in force. People along the East Coast are waiting to see if Joaquin heads their way.
Everyone is looking at it. Everybody's preparing for it.
Forecasters expect the hurricane to reach the U.S. by Sunday or Monday. Right now, computer models show many possibilities, all with different tracks. Even if Joaquin doesn't make landfall here on the East Coast, it could cause serious problems with dangerous storm surges, substantial flooding, and high winds.
Our concern now is not so much the storm itself, but any rainfall it brings could produce life-threatening flooding.
Up the coast, bulldozers were piling sand high on Long Beach near New York City. Residents there still remember the destruction Sandy left behind 3 years ago.
It was a pretty scary scene the last time, and I would hope to God that we don't have to ever go through that again.
On the New Jersey shore, people are bracing for 5 inches of rain, even before Joaquin arrives.
There is definitely going to be moderate and likely to be major flooding events in South Jersey.
The governor has already declared a state of emergency. There's also a state of emergency here in North Carolina, as well as Virginia and Maryland. And researchers predict, depending on where Joaquin hits, up to 14 million people could be left without power. Elliot.
It could affect a lot of people. Weijia Jiang, thank you for that live report from North Carolina. Right now, let's check in on our local weather. And Craig Setzer, are we going to get any impact from the storm, possibly the increased tidal surges?
Right, the increased tidal surges is going to be a big impact, and it's probably going to last into next week now because there's a big mound of water associated with this storm. Also, we're going to see a bit of a breeze the next couple of days, and we're going to see some good news, which is that we're going to be on the backside of this, so we're going to see plenty of sunshine. But you can see the hurricane tonight kind of making a little bit of a loop here. This is certainly not good news at all because eventually it's going to start moving north. It's been moving to the southwest, but for it to stall before it moves north right over the islands, very, very bad news. We're sending our best wishes, of course, to the folks in the Bahamas tonight. Here's what's going on. Is the 5 o'clock advisory. 130-mile-an-hour Category 4 hurricane has been moving to the southwest. Very low central pressure. And I put both of the major models that we track on the map here. If you were watching with us last night, we were talking about the U.S.'s GFS model and the European model, and the European model performs very, very well. Now, the GFS model last night, that blue one, that was over here last night with last night's computer runs, and then later in the night it was up here. Now today it's gone to the east. So if both of these models continue this trend and stay over here to the east, the European has been staying to the east, and I think the National Hurricane Center's cone, it's going to follow that and go to the east. It'll be a slow mover because the Hurricane Center doesn't want to make big jumps in the overall track of the cone, but it could be that we see this start to move away, the forecast track start to move away from the eastern U.S. For us tonight, looking really beautiful out there. Everglades Holiday Park camera in West Broward. Very little in the way of breeze, blowing some of the flags there on the airboats, and lots of sunshine. 90 in Miami, 90 in Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, 86 in Key West. Sticking to scales of 5, it's come down a bit. It's going to go quite a bit lower, maybe down as low as a 2, and the air is going to feel great. 93 is what it feels like right now. Northwest wind gusting to 21. Temperatures across the country right now, they are on the cool side through much of the eastern half of the country. This is part of this big dip in the jet stream that has formed. It's going to help a weak cool front to come down into central Florida, and it's going to drop our temperatures a few degrees out of the 90s into the 80s. The main thing is it's going to bring us some drier air, so that is certainly good news there. In terms of temperatures in the northeast, they are on the cool side thanks to rain. The hot weather is is parked over the southwest. Here's our forecast for tonight. Warm and humid, a gentle breeze, a low temperature near 78. Tomorrow, look for a good deal of hot sunshine. Maybe a stray shower if an outer band gets close to the coast. I don't think it's going to happen. Breezy at times, high near 92. For boaters, winds out of the northwest at 15 to 20. Winds will go up a little bit more tomorrow night, seas 3 building to 6 feet, especially in the Gulf Stream with that northerly component, and a moderate chop on the bays. Through the weekend into next week, one more hot day and then breezy and pleasant over the weekend. Highs in the 80s, lows in the 70s, lower humidity. Chance for showers coming back in the forecast in the middle of next week. Elliot?
Craig, thank you. South Florida volleyball teams are coming together to support a coach battling cancer. All proceeds from tonight's volleyball game at Ransom Everglades School will help support him and his family. CBS 4's Joe Murray has a story.
He led Southwest boys to state titles and helped Ransom Everglades girls win the title in 2013. But now volleyball coach Mauricio Diaz is battling his biggest foe, cancer.
I don't ask why me, because I'd rather it be me than one of these kids or somebody that I'm related to. I've always tried to get these kids to overachieve, so now it's my time to overachieve and get through this hurdle.
Doctors found a brain tumor 2 months ago. Next week, the coach will have surgery, but he's getting a little help from the sidelines. His team, former players, and families from all over are raising money for his treatment. All proceeds from this game are going for the cause, dubbed Dig for Diaz.
He's very positive and open-minded, so I think it's going to turn out well, and I think everything's going to be fine in the end.
He encourages you to be the best player you can be, and that's what you need in a coach.
It's amazing to me that he continues to do whatever he can to still be here. He schedules his appointments around practices, and he's still here every single day.
The coach says all the support has lifted his family. His illness has been tough on his daughter, who plays for the team.
Honestly, I think this is the most amazing thing ever. I've never seen this much support shown for one person, and it's so amazing to see how many lives my dad has touched.
Ever modest, Coach Diaz says his secret to winning is quite simple.
I know that volleyball is just volleyball. I know that creating a family and creating a community is what's really going to get them through in the long run, and pushing them to reach their potential. Even if they come up short, it's still more than they would have accomplished if nobody pushed them at all.
And you know the coach will be pushing himself through this next battle, surgery, and then recovery. In Coconut Grove, Joan Murray, CBS 4 News.
Amazing strength. We wish him the best. Joan, thank you. Right now, we are standing by to hear from President Barack Obama on the shooting in Oregon, where the Attorney General says 13 people, including the shooter, have died.
You wouldn't call a carpenter for a root canal, so why call a big box store for flooring? Dolphin Carpet and Tile specializes in just one thing, flooring. The largest selection, in stock, and we custom design and install it all for less. Call the pros in flooring.
This is Caroline. She's a big fan of the Miami Herald's new in-depth coverage. Important news stories with more background and analysis. This is her husband, Carl. Carl likes the online features like videos, photo essays, maps, and databases.
Shh. This is a good video.
The Miami Herald, keeping you connected. Now with a fresh new design, in-depth coverage, and engaging interactive features. Subscribe today at miamiherald.com or call 1-800-THE-HERALD.
Saturday, October 3rd, Gulfstream Park. Your last chance to catch South Florida's hottest summer series, the Summer Soiree and the Florida Sire Stakes. Come and enjoy an international array of beers, top shelf bourbon, and gourmet burgers, all while enjoying world-class racing by leading jockeys and Florida's top horses. Get here early and get your Gulfstream Park fedora while supplies last. Parking and admission are always free. Visit GulfstreamPark.com for details.
Rubenstein Law recently got a client $475,000.
We're following breaking news right now. This is a live picture from the White House press room where President Obama is speaking about the mass shooting in Oregon.
Whose lives have been changed forever. That means there's another community stunned with grief, and communities across the country forced to relieve their own anguish, and parents across the country who are scared because they know it might have been their families or their children. I've been to Roseburg, Oregon. There are really good people there. I want to thank all the first responders whose bravery likely saved some lives today. Federal law enforcement has been on the scene in a supporting role, and we've offered to stay and help as much as Roseburg needs for as long as they need. In the coming days, we'll learn about the victims, young men and women who were studying and learning and working hard, their eyes set on the future, their dreams on what they could make of their lives. And America will wrap everyone who's grieving with our prayers and our love. But as I said just a few months ago, and I said a few months before that, and I said each time we see one of these mass shootings, our thoughts and prayers are not enough. It's not enough. It does not capture the heartache and grief and anger that we should feel. And it does nothing to prevent this carnage from being inflicted someplace else in America. Next week, or a couple of months from now. We don't yet know why this individual did what he did. And it's fair to say that anybody who does this has a sickness in their minds, regardless of what they think their motivations may be. But we are not the only country on earth that has people with mental illnesses or want to do harm to other people. We are the only advanced country on earth that sees these kinds of mass shootings every few months. You know, earlier this year, I answered a question in an interview by saying, the United States of America is the one advanced nation on earth in which we do not have sufficient common sense gun safety laws, even in the face of repeated mass killings. And later that day, there was a mass shooting at a movie theater in Lafayette, Louisiana. That day. Somehow this has become routine. The reporting is routine. My response here at this podium ends up being routine. The conversation in the aftermath of it, we've become numb to this. We talked about this after Columbine and Blacksburg, after Tucson, after Newtown, after Aurora, after Charleston. It cannot be this easy for somebody who wants to inflict harm on other people to get his or her hands on a gun. And what's become routine, of course, is the response of those who oppose any kind of common sense gun legislation. Right now, I can imagine the press releases being cranked out. We need more guns, they'll argue. Fewer gun safety laws. Does anybody really believe that? There are scores of responsible gun owners in this country. They know that's not true. We know because of the polling that says the majority of Americans understand we should be changing these laws, including the majority of responsible, law-abiding gun owners. There is a gun for roughly every man, woman, and child in America. So how can you, with a straight face, make the argument that more guns will make us safer? We know that states with the most gun laws tend to have the fewest gun deaths. So the notion that gun laws don't work or just will make it harder for law-abiding citizens and criminals will still get their guns, it's not borne out by the evidence. We know that other countries, in response to one mass shooting, have been able to craft laws that almost eliminate mass shootings. Friends of ours, allies of ours, Great Britain, Australia, countries like ours. So we know there are ways to prevent it. And of course, what's also routine is that somebody somewhere will comment and say, Obama politicized this issue. Well, this is something we should politicize. It is relevant to our common life together, to the body politic. I would ask news organizations, because I won't put these facts forward, have news organizations tally up the number of Americans who've been killed through terrorist attacks over the last decade and the number of Americans who've been killed by gun violence. And post those side by side on your news reports. This won't be information coming from me, it will be coming from you. We spend over $1 trillion and pass countless laws and devote entire agencies to preventing terrorist attacks on our soil, and rightfully so. And yet, we have a Congress that explicitly blocks us from even collecting data on how we could potentially reduce gun deaths. How can that be? This is a political choice that we make to allow this to happen every few months in America. We collectively are answerable to those families who lose their loved ones because of our inaction. When Americans are killed in mine disasters, we work to make mines safer. When Americans are killed in floods and hurricanes, we make communities safer. When roads are unsafe, we fix them to reduce auto fatalities. We have seatbelt laws.
Barack Obama, strong words from the president about the need for sensible gun laws. Stay tuned for more on the story on the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
Somehow different?
You're dead.